You know how everyone says Prince Harry wears his heart on his sleeve? Well, lately, that heart looks like it's breaking. People close to him whisper that he's not sleeping. He walks the halls at night, eyes fixed on his phone, scrolling like he's waiting for an explosion. And one night, they say, it finally happened, Harry broke. A legal consultant who's worked with the Sussex Circle claims that night Harry whispered something no one expected, that Meghan never carried their children, that the story told to the world was the version Meghan demanded, and he went along with it because he thought it would protect them. But instead of protection, that secret became a chain around his neck. Even palace insiders have started murmuring that Harry looks like a man imploding from the inside out. That's where the illusion cracked, and through that tiny crack, truth began to leak. And at the center of this storm stands a woman whose name has been hidden for years, known only by the initials DL. For so long, she kept quiet, buried under NDAs and fear. But now, she isn't whispering anymore. DL claims she's not just a surrogate. She says she's the biological mother of both Archie and Lilibet. She says she has the DNA, the paperwork, the emails, the hospital files, and she swears she holds the truth. Meghan and Harry tried to bury. For years, DL lived in silence, promised confidentiality, promised safety, promised payment, but she says all she got was silence and erasure. No final compensation, no recognition, not even a simple wellness check after giving birth, and that's when she decided she will not be erased again. Her story begins back in late 2018 when an intermediary from a discreet fertility clinic reached out. They said a high-profile couple needed help, everything would be private, the pay generous, her identity never exposed. She signed the NDAs, entered the clinic system, and from that moment, every step was cloaked in secrecy. Even the staff didn't know whose child she was carrying. She followed every instruction, carried the pregnancy, delivered safely, and then was pushed out of the story. That's when things turned dark. Because, according to DL, what happened next doesn't just question Meghan's narrative, it threatens to rewrite royal history itself. When Archie was born in May 2019, the world saw smiles and glowing headlines. Meghan and Harry posing proudly, telling everyone they wanted privacy. But DL says what the world saw was not the truth. She claims Archie was already 2 weeks old when the royal couple stepped out for that photo op. 2 weeks! Which means the dramatic announcement Meghan's gone into labor was all staged. DL says she had delivered him quietly in Colorado. No royal photographers, no chaos, just a private birth followed by silence. Meanwhile, across the ocean, the palace released vague statements. The Duchess is in labor. Minutes later, she has given birth. It made no sense, but nobody dared question it. Everyone assumed they simply wanted a modern approach. But DL insists it wasn't privacy, it was performance. And people did notice odd things. Meghan looked flawless just 2 days later, standing tall in heels, radiant and rested. People said she handled pregnancy beautifully. But DL claims the reason Meghan looked untouched was simple. She hadn't been through labor at all. The introduction of Archie wasn't a celebration, it was a script. And if DL is telling the truth, hiding a pregnancy isn't just about avoiding cameras, it's about paperwork. DL says her name was scrubbed from every medical document, the discharge forms, the birth certificate, everything. She was told flat out, no trace of you can remain. It was all to keep the royal story clean, to make Meghan appear as the perfect royal mother. But then came another twist. Months after Archie's birth, Meghan's own name was removed from his birth certificate. At the time, her team brushed it off as a clerical update, but now with DL's claims, some believe that change wasn't accidental, it was damage control. DL says even the fertility clinic and payment records were set up to erase her existence. She wasn't just cut off emotionally, she was cut out legally. Still, she kept everything. The agreements, the clinic receipts, the emails, she kept them because she thought her silence would be honored, because she believed the system would treat her fairly. But when the promises vanished, she realized she'd been replaced by a lie. And that's when she decided to stop hiding. What started as a private pain suddenly became an international bombshell. Because this isn't just about who gave birth, it's about royal succession. Under British law, Royal lineage has to be verifiable, official, documented. A hidden surrogate destroys that chain. And insiders say Buckingham Palace is quietly terrified. Because if Meghan didn't legally give birth and no surrogacy disclosure was filed, then the children's royal status becomes uncertain. Their titles, their positions in line, all of it could be challenged. Parliament could even demand an inquiry. And the documents DL claims to hold emails, clinic records, payment transfers could ignite a legal storm that crosses continents. While the palace scrambles behind the scenes, Meghan goes silent. Completely silent. No events, no speeches, no podcasts, no staged photo ops. People in Hollywood whisper that producers who once begged to work with her are now backing away politely, quietly, but decisively. Not because they hate her, but because they're scared. No one wants to be caught standing beside a royal implosion. For someone as vocal as Meghan, the silence is deafening. Those who worked with her say she's not quiet out of choice, she's quiet out of necessity. She's watching, waiting, calculating how bad this could get. One former aide put it simply, she's not silent because she wants to be, she's silent because she has to be. And as Meghan hides, Harry unravels. Friends say he's not the same man anymore, nervous, short-tempered, drifting away from everyone, even her. He's consumed by guilt, not for using surrogacy, but for the secrecy, for agreeing to a story that now threatens to crush everything he tried to protect. One friend claims he muttered under his breath, "I just wanted to protect my family. I didn't think it would go this far." Those words have haunted everyone around him since. Part 2 approx 1,000 words. Behind the palace gates, lawyers and advisors are working overtime, combing through every file, every timeline. Because if DL's evidence is real, if she really has contracts, transfers, and DNA reports, this isn't just scandal, it's constitutional crisis. And somewhere in California, in the calm streets of Montecito, the couple's mansion feels more like a bunker. Harry spends sleepless nights pacing from room to room. Meghan avoids even the neighbors. Friends say the tension is so thick, you can feel it the moment you walk through the gates. Meanwhile, DL prepares to speak. Her team says she's ready to step out of the shadows, ready to show what she's been holding all these years. The documents, they say, include everything. Signed NDAs, confidential transfers linked to the Sussex Trust, emails from Harry's own aides, hospital bills with her name where Meghan's should have been, and even photos from inside the fertility clinic. If even half of it is authentic, it could force both UK and US courts to investigate. Her lawyers have hinted at a televised sit-down, no filters, no edits, no PR handlers, just DL, her truth, and the evidence. And if that happens, no spin can stop what comes next. Because once she speaks, the story won't belong to Harry and Meghan anymore. It'll belong to the world. People close to them say Meghan is desperate to find a way out, maybe a new statement, maybe a mental health break, maybe another narrative twist. But deep down, she knows that this time the story isn't hers to control. Evidence doesn't bend to PR. And Harry, well, he's caught between loyalty and collapse. He left the monarchy to protect his family, to escape the pressure, but what if escaping it led him straight into something worse? Those who knew him in his army days say he's a man drowning in regret. He wanted a normal life, but instead found a truth too heavy to carry. Back in London, palace insiders whisper that the Queen's advisors, what's left of them, have held emergency briefings. They're terrified not only of the scandal, but of what it represents. That the royal image, polished for centuries, could crumble in a single broadcast. A legal team has reportedly begun reviewing every royal birth document of the last decade. Quiet panic is an understatement. And through it all, DL stands on the edge of history. Some call her brave, others call her reckless. But one thing's certain, she isn't backing down. "They erased me once," she allegedly told a friend. "They won't do it again." Her decision has already changed the royal narrative forever. Because even before she speaks, the damage is done. Rumors spread faster than statements. And this rumor, this one carries the weight of truth behind it. Across the ocean, cameras wait. Reporters refresh their feeds. The world senses that something seismic is coming. And inside Montecito, a prince whispers words no one ever imagined hearing. maybe the truth was never meant to stay hidden. What happens next could redefine everything: royalty, lineage, even the meaning of family. If DL presents her documents, if her story checks out, then history itself will have to be rewritten, and that's the tragedy. Because once upon a time, this was supposed to be a love story. Two people breaking free, rewriting tradition. But in trying to build a new fairy tale, they may have built a lie too big to sustain. Now, every silence, every missing statement, every calm photo tells its own story, the story of people waiting for impact. The palace holds its breath. The press circles like hawks. The public watches, torn between disbelief and fascination. And somewhere in California, Meghan looks out the window, the world she built trembling outside her gates. Harry, tired, lost, whispers to no one, "I just wanted peace." But peace doesn't come when secrets do. And as the countdown ticks closer to DL's public reveal, one thing becomes clear. When evidence enters the room, even the grandest illusions tremble. And now, as the world holds its breath, the calm before the storm feels like an echo before thunder. Everyone close to the Sussex circle says the silence isn't peace, it's fear. Meghan's team has gone dark. Her assistants, once chatty on social media, have vanished. Her stylists and publicists have quietly paused new contracts. Even Netflix insiders, who once praised her for being a fresh, modern voice, are suddenly choosing their words carefully. It's as if the whole machine that once built her image has hit the brakes at the same time. Harry, on the other hand, has become almost unrecognizable. Friends say he's aged years in a few months. The light in his eyes, that boyish spark that once made him the world's favorite royal rebel, it's gone. Now, he sits in quiet corners of cafes, always looking down, his phone always in his hand. One friend told a reporter that Harry no longer talks about the future. He talks about how it all went wrong. He doesn't mention his brother, his father, or even the palace. He just repeats it wasn't supposed to be like this. The palace itself is eerily quiet. No denials, no statements, no leaks, just stillness. And that stillness, for those who've followed royal crises before, means one thing: something big is being contained behind closed doors. Lawyers are double-checking clauses, archivists are rereading documents, and people who once stood behind the Sussex narrative are now carefully distancing themselves. DL, meanwhile, has become a name whispered in every newsroom from London to Los Angeles. Some call her the ghost mother, others the woman who shook the crown. But she's not hiding anymore. Her team is reportedly finalizing the televised interview, simple setting, no glam, just her and the documents that could shift royal history forever. Insiders say one of those documents includes a DNA verification form, something that could end the debate instantly if released. Across the ocean, the tension is thick enough to taste. Reporters are camping outside Montecito, hoping to catch a glimpse of the couple. Neighbors say the blinds never open anymore. Even the staff who used to come and go freely now keep their heads down. Everyone senses that once DL speaks, there will be no going back. And maybe that's what frightens Harry the most, that the truth he once thought he could hide has finally found its way to the surface. That all the walls he built to protect his family are now the same ones closing in on him. And somewhere, deep down, even Meghan knows that when the truth finally walks into the light, no amount of silence will be enough to stop it.